Hey everybody, it's Fred with Nitro Roofing again, here to do another toolbox talk about the anatomy of a roof system. We have an awesome little roofing demo shown for you guys. Basically, the way we start is a cross section of how a roof is installed. First, we're gonna start with what we would call your underlayment system. This would be your ice and water shield, typically ran along your gutter edges, up your valleys, around your chimneys, and your skylights. From there, we run with a synthetic underlayment, which as you can see, we have properly nailed throughout this system. And these are perfect every time, guys. From there, your typical shingle system is going to start with a layer of starter strip. That's a single strip of asphalt with one layer of a nailer strip. From there, you're gonna go with your first course, second course, and so on and so forth, all with a perfect nailing pattern. Now on most roof systems, especially if you're a homeowner, you're gonna have some plumbing stacks coming out of your roof. What we have to do to roof around those is use something called a pipe flashing. So this here is your typical pipe flashing made with a high performance polymer for the nail flange, which as you see, is properly flanged underneath of this ice guard. Up here is neoprene rubber, whereas you can see there are different layers around this that you can cut for the different sizes of your boot. So as you work your way up to the peak of the roof, you're gonna do one of two things. You're either gonna hit it with the ridge cap, which I'll explain shortly, or you're gonna cut in ridge ventilation. If you'd like to learn more about ridge ventilation, please click the link below and find the anatomy of ridge vents. As you see here, these are what we call ridge caps. They go along the peaks and the hips or over ridge vents of your roof system. Simply put, you break them into one single piece and you layer them as such, like glorified fish scales, and they really just crisp that edge, make it look, just bring it all together. Beautiful. Flashing is just a simple word for detailing around anything where the roof isn't. Here, we're going to talk about where your shingles run into a wall. What we have here is just a simple setup of step flashing. As you see here towards the bottom, we are glorifying that same fish scale system for each piece of step flashing that runs down. What we're trying to do is stop the water from coming into this corner and running down so on and so forth our roof system. Nothing brightens up life more than a window. So how about a window in your roof where the sun comes right down? What we have here is, simply put, a skylight. When you look up through the ceiling, you see the sky. And here's how it's installed. Just about every skylight system that you work with is going to be 2 to 3 pieces. You're going to have your flashing system, again, details, places where the roof isn't, and then the skylight itself. All of this together, between your flashings, your skylight, everything, you're going to have a lot of moving parts. So you want to make sure these are done correctly. A lot of people put these in incorrectly, and that's where skylights get a bad name. That's why my best advice to you is if you're doing a skylight, give the professionals at Nitro Roofing a call. You have your shingles, which go underneath your flashing system, which is part of your skylight flashing system. A lot of the same stuff we talked about earlier with your step flashing. You have step flashing going up your edge, all fish scaled together perfectly, nice and neat. And beneath all of this, you should have a nice layer of ice and water shield, which just really seals that together. That's not just gonna keep moisture and ice and water from the outside, but it's gonna help condensation and air leakage from the inside. So on the back of this skylight, you're gonna have one single stamped piece of metal, which comes from the manufacturer, known as a back pan. That back pan is gonna take the brunt of all of your abuse. That's what's gonna wick the water to the sides, bring them down to your step flashing, and so on and so forth, and out to the gutter. So like many things in roofing, there are various types of applications. These are just 2 different styles of ventilation applications that you might find on a roof system. Here would be your baffled dryer vent or bathroom vent. With this being the size that it is, we're gonna call this more of a kitchen vent. Up here you have a Lomanco 750 box vent. This is used for certain applications where you just don't have enough ridge to ventilate, or for some reason you just love these guys and you wanna put them all over your roof. It's perfectly fine to put these up here. Some people call them turtle vents, some people call them box vents, but this is, in our terms, 750. As we run to the end of your roofing project, we're going to run into a few different details known as counter flashing. Simply put, metal that goes around your chimney. Now, we've kind of explained earlier about the step flashing that goes along the wall and around a skylight. It's very similar around your chimney. You're going to run your ice and water shield, you're going to run step flashing, and from there, we're going to get to what we call the counter flashing. That is the piece that is going to cover your step flashing, so nothing can ever get in behind that. From there, you're going to cap seal any area where that water might be able to get in behind here. You gotta remember, guys, we're thinking like water. And when it comes to explaining the methods of cap sealing and the different kinds of adhesives you can use outside of your home, please be sure to check out the Anatomy of Sealants video below. Well, I hope you guys learned something today with the anatomy of a roof system. And as always, check our videos below if you want to get a little more granular about the anatomy of specific roof products.